Well, today on Nation, the Window Cleaners podcast, we're talking all about why someone would hire you. Like, what makes them hire you? And this is super important because this is what is going to make them buy from you and what's going to improve your close rate, what's going to get you more business, more... Anyway, if you're a window cleaner or just in a service business, make sure to stay tuned to WCR Nation. What's up, everybody? Jersey here from windowcleaner.com, and you are here. What is up? If it's your first time here, have a look around. Almost 8 years of doing this every single week. Yeah. Go back, watch, listen, binge, but make sure, more importantly, that you follow this episode, follow the show so that you get this all the time. Go to Spotify, click follow, because, then you'll always be notified when we put a new one out. Every single week, it will be there. So, yeah. Also, I'm a rep for windowcleaner.com, so, yeah, I want to be a rep. Let me put your orders in. I'll get to that later. Anyway, so let's dive right into the whys. And this is kind of, like, we talk about USP, and again, I've done this for 8 years, so we've kind of gone over some of these topics, and there's always new thoughts on them. There's always new ideas and always kind of concepts. And I'm telling you, it takes a lot to get you to really, really believe this in your brain. It kind of gives you the update. It kind of gives you the knowledge, and it opens up your brain. And a lot of times I could babble, and hopefully you're out working, making a bunch of money, just listening. I'm in your ear. Maybe you're watching the video, but you're just kind of getting it, absorbing it, keeping that burn alive, keeping that thing inside. And you're like, well, I know why people hire me. I have a pretty good close rate. But if we break it down, the idea that you get is, now I know why I'm selling to people. I know why people are buying. I know why people find me. I know why people ask me questions. I know the whys of everything. And the more you can break that down, the more you can kind of understand the psychology that the customers have, the more you understand what you're actually selling. Because I know the biggest problem, go jump on Pro Window Cleaning sometime and look that every 10th post is, how do I get more customers? Then people comment, and they go, well, if you do good work, you'll be busier than you... The people still, to this day, with all the knowledge out there, which, by the way, there's only a few thousand people that listen to this every week. So you may not even, you're listening to something that they're not, right? This is pretty darn important for you. So this is not something that everybody's going to listen to. There's 70,000 window cleaners out there, and maybe a couple thousand listen to the show. That's huge. And then some of those people don't even absorb it. They don't understand it. They think, well, this isn't for me. They're not even really listening. So when you're looking at these ideas, you don't go, well, everybody knows that, because they do not know that. And you can see that clear as day. I talk to hundreds of window cleaners a week. The interesting thing about that is that they think, oh yeah, well, they hire me because I clean it. I clean the best window. They're like, well, these are so clean when they're done. Well, yeah, everybody says that because that's what they're supposed to say. But guess what? The 10 other companies they didn't use, they assume are going to clean them just like you did. It's not because you're doing this great job. There's other reasons people hire you, right? If you're proving yourself, then yeah, do a good job. But nobody hires you because you do good windows. They hire you for a ton of other reasons. And the first one, you have to understand, just in the idea that helps you realize everything. Why people call you, why people find your website, why they get prices, all this stuff. Is what are they buying? Because here's the truth, and I've said this 1,000 times, and still people kind of don't really understand it, but just open your brain. Hear me out on this. They do not buy you for the clean windows. Now, you're like, well, that's what I do, so yeah, Well, that's why they buy me. I get it. Like, that's the end result. But why don't they just clean it themselves? Now, when I asked that one question, your brain instantly went into a bunch of stuff. Well, they leave streaks, and it takes a long time, and they just can't get it perfect, and in the morning light when the sun comes up, they can see everything, and it's worse than when you have 50 different answers, right? Maybe it's they got family coming into town, they're putting up a wedding, they don't have time to. Perfect. You've answered the question of what are they buying. Not one time did you go, well, they want their clean windows. And if you do say that, like if you think that that's the reason, that's not the reason. It's just a piece of it, right? So find out what they're buying. Because if I go in to a Kia dealer and I say, my daughter just turned 16, I want a car that's not going to break the bank, but is safe, and okay, they're selling me a really safe, high-rated, affordable vehicle, probably smaller, right? They're going to talk about how it's got 12 airbags. If I go into that same Ferrari dealer, they're selling me a car for the looks I get, for the heads I turn, for the every meeting you'll pull up on, you're going to pull up in this baby. Just the sound of it, people are going to instantly respect you. That's what I'm getting, right? They're not buying a car because it brings you to the grocery store. They're not buying a car because, well, I need a car. You're buying a car because you need a car. But the reason you're buying that car is a lot of them. Maybe I love the way it looks. Maybe this thing is super fast. Maybe I'll save the environment. Maybe whatever the reason is, it's not to get the car. That's the end result. Yes, that's to get your windows clean. But why did they buy that one? Right? And here's the thing you have to understand is that take you and 9 other window cleaning companies in your area. You could probably find them. Maybe not in your area, and line them all up. Imagine one of those, rooms you see on the internet. It's just all, white, and there's just 10 people standing there going, why is somebody hiring you? You could give them your USP. But then what are they latched on to? Why is the reason they hire you, right? It's not the clean windows. It's not the clean windows. It's not the clean windows, because guess what? Every window cleaner, I assume, cleans windows. It's not because you do it better. That's baloney. That doesn't even make sense. Now, you may clean windows better. The customer doesn't care because they're not looking at them with a fine-tooth comb like you are. But maybe you do. But that's not why somebody hires you in the first place. What are they buying? You have to separate that. So you know what they're buying. Free time, perfection, no streaks. Whatever it is you think that they're buying, that's what you advertise. Don't advertise, we clean windows. No. We have a 100% streak-free guarantee. We will not leave streaks. And if we do, you let us know. We'll come back and make that window look perfect. Right? Because they're worried about if they do it, it's going to streak. That's why they're hiring you to do it. They could do it themselves. Find what they're buying. Now you go into value, okay? Everybody cleans windows. Everybody technically is not going to leave streaks, but you're the one that brings it up. If the other guy, you're in a room, 10 window cleaners, you bring up, we have a unbeatable 100% satisfaction guarantee, streak-free guarantee. Here's the thing. Every company has that, if they say it or not. Because guess what? If you come to my house and clean my windows and one of the windows looks awful, I'm going to call you and be like, yo. You'll be like, oh, gee, sorry, man. I'll be right back. You're not going to be like, yeah, this is what we do and deal with it. No one does that. So everybody is going to take care of it, but you have to say it. If you say it, it's true, right? So saying that adds to your value. Your value is not the price. If all 10 of those window cleaners are there and they all just give their price of the windows, guarantee that not every one of them is going to be a different price. A lot of them are going to be the same price. Well, guess what? If the only words out of their mouth is a dollar amount, they don't get to say anything else, and even say they're behind a curtain, you can't see them, you can't see their smile, you can't get a good feeling, you can't get any of that. All you have to go on is the price. And if all you have to go on is the price, that's all you can choose from. So many people get stuck on the price part of it because that's what they assume. Everybody's, well, I got to be cheaper. These new guys come into town and they get all the business because they're cheaper. No. It's because if you said, hey, this is $300 and he said it's $100 and you both just went and just didn't say anything else, then yeah, that's all they're going off of. But if you said we're $300, they're $100, and here's why we're $300. We have our 100% satisfaction streak-free guarantee. You don't pay a dime until you're absolutely happy. We have a 7-day rain guarantee. We're the only company in the area that protects against Mother Nature. We're fully insured, carry $2 million of insurance. All of our techs are trained. They go through our program and they take their shoes off. We wear booties. All of the things. You could take all of those things. Now, both of those companies probably don't get, track mud through your house. Both of those companies probably would come back if something is bad. But it's the companies that put it out there to make them feel confident. What's your value?
It's 8 o'clock.
Because we know, and you and me, when we're talking about these new guys, you're like, well, yeah, they can charge, $99 for an ins and outs because they probably don't have insurance. They probably don't. We have the excuses in our head on why they're like that. We just have to let the customer know. We just have to let them know that our value outweighs our price. Now, I'll tell you this. You cannot take the same window cleaning. Outside on windows, they got a 1,500 square foot house, small, and you're like, $3,000, and here's why. They're going to be like, no, whoa. You're like, wait. We're not trying to be absurd because, again, the market dictates a price bubble. How big the bubble is different. You do not have to be anywhere close to those guys and the cheap guys. Because the cheap guys, A, they're not going to last. B, they may get some people who are just based on price. But C, they are not going to get a lot of them if you can tell them your value. And how many companies? By the way, if you're listening right now, I want every one of you to put this in Spotify comments. Leave the comment because I know that you listened. I know that you followed it. I know that you're out there. But also everybody else looking will be confused. But tell me yes or no. If you have been told, you know what? You weren't the cheapest, but we decided to go with you, and here's why, right? We got a bunch of bids, and you were like right in the middles, and here's why we chose you. Yes or no in the comments of Spotify if you've heard that. And just look, everybody who's listening, put a response in there, and look at this. I would guarantee that a very large majority of people will say yes. And the reason is because there's a lot of times where there's somebody cheaper than you. In fact, a lot, most times. Now, if you're bidding a giant corporate thing and they don't care, you can't get your value to cross to them, and they go for the cheapest, we do 3 bids and we only go for the cheapest. I've had city contracts like that. And guess what? The cheapest guy gets it one year and then he doesn't even bid the next year because he just lost his butt on it. I had one city bid one time. This guy was half of the price. Because in city bids, it's public knowledge of what the bids were. So you can just look up the last bid, what they accepted to know where you are. This dude bid it half of what this one project was. I mean, $10,000 less than I was bid. And I even, I got to be kind of competitive because I was trying to match or be close to the year prior. This guy just came in out of nowhere and did it for $10,000 less than the guy did it before that. Really lost his butt. Guess what? He got stuck dropping his rack or his rope grab got stuck above the parapet. So he was just stuck there. And he's just an older guy. Sat there for 2 hours until somebody's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "No, can you call the fire department?" Fire department came, ladder truck rescued him, and he finished the windows before the fire truck was gone. Literally, the ladder was up, got him off the thing, started having him so he could drop down a little bit, started cleaning again. They're like, "What are you doing?" They didn't have him back, obviously. I find that funny. Not that he didn't get hurt or anything, just funny that sometimes, you buy the cheapest and then you go, what? The guy that was $10,000 less didn't do a great job and didn't know what he was doing? Weird, huh? Right? But you know your value. You have to know your value. Got to take 2 quick seconds to tell you that I'm a rep for windowcleaner.com, and the way that I make money, the way that I exist is by putting in your orders, all of your orders, your big orders, your little orders. I love when people are like, "Hey, I'm getting this Waterford package," or whatever. That's great. But I do all orders. You can call me and be like, "Hey, we ship free over $49. I got a $51 order." Heck yeah. Every order I get credit for, and it costs you nothing extra to use me. And I get credit. So if you get any value out of these shows and you want to be like, "Yo, dude, here's a little thank you. Let me put your order in." All of your orders in. I would love that. My number is 862-312-2026. If you're in, you kick a little cart at the top of your screen when you're logged in, and then right above the checkout buttons is a save this cart. You just click that and text me, 862-312-2026. And I'll be like, "Yo, it's in my cart." I place it, costs you nothing extra. I make sure you get your gift and everything fits and all of that stuff. And I get credit for it. And I can continue living. And you can tell me what kind of name brand items that I get to buy with my whopping pennies of commission. And I've had people say name brand crackers, name brand Oreos. Hair gel is very common for some reason. I guess it looks like I have a lot of gel in my hair. I don't know. Anyway, I want to put that in for you. So please, please, please let me put your orders in. Also, if you haven't gotten the subscription yet to the American Window Cleaner magazine, yes, it's a real magazine. Yes, it's real window cleaning magazine. It's all about window cleaning. It's all about window cleaners. There's new gear in here. There's just super cool like posters and pictures. There's all that. And of course, the sticker sheet. Every single month you get a sticker sheet with custom window cleaning stickers you put on your buckets and everything. And yes, we nerd out with this, and it is fantastic. Get that, awcmag.com. Go get that. Also, I'm sorry, last week I talked about Jobber, and I didn't have the link in there. It should be there now. But if you want to get the best CRM on the planet, in my opinion, do your demos, check it out. I can get you a free trial on it and 20% off by using my code. And then it tracks to me and is like, "Hey, this guy did this." So anyway, I've done demos with Jobber, blown away by how awesome it is. It's in the comments. You can look at that, get that. Text me. I'll send you the link if you need it. But start with a really good CRM. Get an amazing CRM like that. Do the demos. You see everything that it does, and you will be blown away from what the text can do to you can do to every 100% amazing. There's not anything in the newest Jobber that I was like, you know what, it'd be nice if it had this. It's fantastic. So go get that. Anyway, back to the show. We talk about the value in what you're selling, right? The big piece to this also is the reason that phone bids work so well. The reason that people just are like so when they book is because that's the task. The task that they also have, regardless of the reasoning, is that they have to get this windows done. I got to call the window guy. Well, then they pick up the phone, they call you, or they go to your website, or they do. As soon as they book it from you, they're like, okay, that's off my plate. It's not the act of actually getting done. That's great. But it's the act of getting it scheduled. So many people are like, no. They're like, they need it done. They were like, that's when they're like happy. It's like, yes, that's when they're happy also. But their job is to get it booked, is to get somebody on their way out. It's the finishing the task. It's the ease. It's the reason that somebody books, because they don't want to, if I don't book with this guy, if I didn't build enough with him, I have to hang up and then call the next guy and try to see if I like that one better and just what he can say. And all you can do is just try to convince somebody. Hand them your confidence, right? Make them believe that you're the best. You know you're the best. Is somebody in your area better than you? If you said yes, then you need to work on that. Figure out why they're better than you. And then be better than that. Like, that should be ingrained in everybody that they're the best choice. But guess what? You think you're the best choice in your area. The other people in your area think they're the best choice in the area. And they need to be able to tell someone that. Convey that, right? But a big, big reason somebody doesn't buy, they don't decide, they go to somebody else, they go, well, let me talk to my wife and I'll call you back. Whatever their thing is, whatever their excuse is because they have doubts. Doubts are just questions. Like, you only buy something when you know it's the best choice. You don't buy something and go, yeah, this is, man, there's got to be better things out there. But yeah, I'll buy this one. No one does that, right? No one, in anything. In, anything. They buy when they think that that's the best choice because they have no doubts. If you have doubts in anything, how many times have you gone to the store? Say you're looking at a new TV. You look at it, you're like, that's nice, It's a good TV. I don't know. I'll look around and you leave. It's because in your head you had doubts. Like, is there a better TV for a better price? Can I get a better TV a little bit more expensive? Like, what if I bought a Sony versus this TLC or TCL, or like, what if I bought a name brand? Maybe there's a better deal out there. Maybe I could find somebody with a used TV. Doubts are questions just weren't answered. If you went into the TV place and I knew those were your doubts because I sell TVs and I know what you're actually looking for, like you sell window cleaning and know what your doubts are, right? Streaks, timing, blah, blah, blah. And I answered those questions for you, I would sell that TV. Go, yes, just so you know, TCL as a brand is now the third largest television and technology brand. They are a direct brand, so pricing is always more competitive than the big guys. They don't do advertising like Sony, so they don't have to pay for Super Bowl ads. And the TCL TV has a 5-year warranty. Where you're looking at the Sony, not only are you paying more, but that has a 1-year warranty. Not to say that any of them are junk, but this one, they're able to ensure that it's going to last you longer, right? I can drop all of your doubts by answering the questions, right? A big piece to this in all of the things is that if somebody's like, well, yeah, let me talk to there's something still there. Grant Cardone said this, and I don't follow everything he says because not as specific, because I think he's kind of a little bit harsher than I think I would like to be. But he says, basically, if somebody says, I want to talk to my wife, he says, oh, yeah, absolutely. I know I always discuss my purchases with my spouse, put them on the same page, but I think I failed somewhere in telling you that this is the best answer to your problem. This is the absolute perfect answer. And the reason I say that is because your wife trusts you and you trust you. And she would be absolutely okay with you if you knew 100% this was the right choice. And because you don't, there has to be some kind of question or part of this that I didn't answer for you, and I apologize. Are there any other questions you have on this? Anything you're just not quite sure on? And if the person's like, no, this is absolutely perfect, great. Well, let's do the deal then. She trusts in your opinion, and, there's nothing she's going to say to make you think this isn't the best choice. Let's do it. Now, I know that's that like pushy kind of whatever, but the concepts are all there, right? If you have objections or doubts, which are questions, then you're not buying. If you knew, you're like, hey, you are having a heart attack right now, and we have to give you this pill to stop this heart attack, or you will die. This is the only way to do this, and you have minutes to live. There's not one person ever goes, well, let me talk to my wife. I always run by decisions, but like, oh my God, yes, give me the pill. Why? Because I trust the doctor to tell me the right thing, which, as you know, the medical system is awful, but we still trust him. The confidence is there. I have no doubts. The guy just told me I'm going to die if I don't take this pill. I don't care how much it costs. Give me the pill. I want to live. I don't ask my wife. What is my wife going to say? Well, it's kind of expensive. Maybe you should just die. I hope she doesn't say that, right? If somebody's 100% confident, they don't need to talk to their wife or their partner or their whatever. The confidence is what sells it. If you're confident with you being the best and you giving the best guarantees and the best value and the best company and the best, I can absolutely convey that to you. Oh, this is by far the best option in all of the 50 options we have. I can tell you that with confidence because I'm confident. And if I'm confident, you're confident. I've always say it this way too, but if I say, it's like $300, is that fine for Windows? I think we do the ins and outs. You instantly in your head right now would be like, no, I don't think so. No, like because you're not confident, I can't be confident. But if I'm like, okay, awesome. So pricing is $2.99. We always drop $1, say $300. And we'd be able to get you done on the 7th or the 12th. Those both would be, one is a morning and one is an afternoon. So which do you like better, the morning or the afternoon? Well, I was so confident on the price, I'm not stuck on the price. They're like, oh, this is what this guy does. The guy's confident. Yeah, this is it, right? Anything and everything, when you're the expert, if you're confident goes to the next person. I'll tell you an interesting story of confidence. I have a place up in the mountains that I go to. It's my nature area, my nice, the birds and the wind and the breeze and the trees, right? And one morning, it was like 7 a.m, and I'm standing outside. It's like summer, so it's nice, not hot yet. Just kind of standing out there. Just had woken up, the rest of the family's sleeping, and I'm standing there, and all of a sudden, I just feel like this shaking and this loud rumble just through the valleys. In the mountains, if you know, the Blue Ridge or the Appalachian Mountains in general, it's just valleys, right? So it's just, you just hear this noise. I'm like, whoa, what was that? Like my buddy is right on the next parcel. He's like, 5 acres away or whatever. So I text him. I'm like, whoa, man, what was that? And he goes, oh, that was a train. I was like, oh, okay. It's like, yeah, weird. Okay, I guess I didn't even realize there was trains around here, but I mean, the valley kind of travels, whatever. 2-3 hours later, I glanced at my phone, and there was like news alerts about this earthquake that happened. We were right there. Like, it was in our area. It was an earthquake. I didn't even think to question the train because he was like, no, it was a train. We don't have trains anywhere around. I know that. But he was so confident that it instantly transferred the confidence to me. He's like, oh, well, all right, that was that. I knew there's no train. I knew that wasn't a train. I knew I felt the whole earth doing this thing. Even if I didn't think that it was an earthquake right away, because at the time I didn't know there was earthquakes here in North Carolina. Now I do. But I didn't even think to question it or think of anything else because I'm so confident. The confidence transfers over. And that's everything in your life. That's your business. That's your jobs. That's your selling. It all transfers over if you're confident, which is extremely interesting. And a lot of people don't have that because the whole fake it till you make it thing, the reason that exists is because I had to fake my confidence until I'm really confident. Because if I don't, they're like, oh, yeah, no, I'm not paying you. I'll pay you maybe $100 because I'll gamble on it. But That's where people like when they're like, oh, these guys are new, and they're charging full price. Yes. Why would they charge you less? Well, they don't know as much as me. Okay, I kind of understand that, but the customers don't need to know that. What if they do just a great job with all the same values, right? Confidence in what sells it. Now, I'm confident that I am the absolute best person to put your orders in, the best rep. Don't put your orders in yourself. I'm confident that it is a bad idea for you to put your own orders in. Why? Because I am just as fast. I get credit for it, and I can go over everything, make sure it's there, and how many times? I mean, this is like 10 times a day. Somebody's like, oh, I didn't put my free gift in my order. You messed up. Yeah. But guess what? By using a rep, I make sure it's there. I make sure the fitment's there. I ask you all the questions, make sure your address. I do all of that for you in the wink of an eye. That's probably not a saying, but I do very, very fast. So please save my number. It's 862-312-2026. If you are still listening and you happen to be on Spotify, put the comment on there. Again, yes or no to if you've been told you weren't the cheapest. That's it. Just want to see that. I also love comments, and it also helps get the podcast out there and more listeners and interaction and all that good stuff. And also, if you haven't gotten the subscription to the AWC American Window Cleaner magazine, this magazine has been around since 1986. We revamped it. We've redone it. It's amazing. It's probably one of the best visually looking magazines I've ever seen, not in our industry, but anywhere. I know I'm partial, but our layout guy, Justin's absolutely a madman of fantasticness. So go check that out, awcmag.com. Have something to read on the turtlet. And anyway, until next week, go out there, figure out why somebody wants to hire you, and use that to your advantage. But more importantly, go out there and be epic.